Hi, and welcome back to the channel. This is a channel update, something that I've never really done before, I don't think. I'd never really thought of anything really to say or any kind of newish content that I would like to make, so hadn't really felt the need until now, because the channel has become a bit, well, watch list heavy or response video to something else, kind of going off the back of other creators. So I thought I'd like to mix that up a little bit and talk about some of the projects and ideas that I have in mind to see if any of them kind of float your interest and see what happens. As an aside to that, let's talk about, some of the things that have changed in my life, and a lot. We'll see what anybody would think about, making content. Like, I have undergone a bit of a life change in the past kind of 3 or 4 months in the second lockdown that kind of culminated in me losing pretty much 2 stone. Yeah. So, nothing weird or wonderful about how I did it, but as somebody who would consider themselves as sort of normal and not a fitness freak or otherwise, that might be something that some people might be interested in, especially as they find themselves in this kind of maybe rut or idea of, wanting to make a change, especially as we come out of lockdown the second time. But aside from that, content-wise, I have a couple of ideas for content to mix things up so that it just doesn't become a watch list focused channel. And I do love the watch list. It's the type of content that I always wanted to make. It's what I set out to make. That is recommendations and showcasing what was good about boutique Blu-ray and about interest in cinema. So that's going to continue long into the future. But to mix it up, I thought I'd throw in some ideas of things that I'm looking to talk about and looking to introduce to the channel. Now, the first of that is, while I do talk a lot about what I've been watching, I'm a collector by nature. I dearly love collecting. So I wanted some way to showcase that wasn't necessarily pickups for pickup's sake. As much as I love a pickup video, it's not the type of content that I wanted to make as much as I love watching it. So with that in mind, I'm going to start a new series called Let's Get Physical, talking about all of the things that make physical media collecting interesting to me. Cover art, signage, extras, booklets, all of that good stuff, but not just limited to movies, although my movie collection is the biggest collection that I have, but just in general about physical media collecting and about the love of physical media. So that's the first thing that I'd like to talk about, and it is the kind of thing that I'd quite like to get some input from my friends that are on YouTube, etc. as well, about what kind of floats their boat about collecting. That's a series of interest to me, and one that you should expect an episode or 2 in the near future, and we'll see how that goes. On top of that, I don't mind admitting I've been a bit inspired by Razor Wire Ryan and his James Cameron series, which kind of blew me away with just kind of how intentional it was to talk about something that he really cares about, how well planned out it was, and how he executed it from start to finish. So, based on what Ryan had done, and also based on some of his former work, I decided to put together a cinema season or a movie season of sorts, and trying to think of all the genres and regions, etc. of film, things that interest me most. The one that I keep coming back to is French cinema. So I'm going to do a French cinema season, and I'm going to start off doing season 1 by picking one movie from each of the decades from 1930 onwards and showcasing that film as being something that you should watch, or what is interesting about that, and doing my research, etc. that goes into that, but still recording a very conversational style video. The vast majority are films that I've never seen beforehand, but some of them are ones that I want to showcase very centrally in that series. So that'll be the first series. We'll see how it goes, see how the feedback goes, but I've got ideas for subsequent series going forward based on time periods, on particular directors, etc., and on particular movements. So a really interesting series to me that I'm really looking forward to. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care, all the best, bye.